Welcome. You are listening to the Storied Arcs podcast. I'm your host, Mike.
And I'm your host, Alex.
Thanks for checking out our podcast. Before you dive in, we wanted to take a few minutes to explain who we are, what we do, and why we do it.
Mike and I are friends who just met by having random conversations at our local brick-and-mortar comic shop.
We discovered this mutual love for indie/creator-owned comics.
Not only are these some of the best stories out there, they also push the boundaries of the medium and are typically underrepresented in the world of media coverage, adaptations, and podcasts.
That's where we come in. We have nothing against the big two, Marvel and DC, but there are plenty of great podcasts that cover those stories. In fact, we'll reference, recommend, and point you to some of those podcasts as they come up in conversation.
And we might even eventually cover a book or two from DC or Marvel. But for now, we're looking to dive deeper into comics from publishers like Image, Dark Horse, Black Mask, Boom, and even some independently published material on platforms like Substack. Simply put, we love comics and their creators.
And as the name of our podcast suggests, we love story arcs. In our podcast, we'll focus on closed story arcs, meaning we're not going to cover weekly pull lists or long continuous stories. We want stories that are already published in their final form and generally are closed to future expansion.
This hopefully will make it easy for you to read along, since you won't have to track down any potentially rare issues that have been consumed by speculators. And for the most part, you can probably get the material we're discussing from your local comic shop or public library.
The final piece of this is community interaction. This whole podcast was founded on the love of the water cooler talk at the local comic shop, and we want that to extend to the internet. Our website, storiedarcs.com, has links to our social media pages and our Facebook group so that you can interact with the stories that we've discussed or even lobby for us to discuss your favorite trade paperback.
For our first series, we're starting with Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chiang's instant classic, Paper Girls. As will be the case in the future, the entire series will be recorded in advance and released weekly, with a mailbag episode to be recorded at a future date. Each episode will recap, analyze, and discuss one trade paperback from this story arc and will not contain any spoilers for future trades. We hope that you enjoy listening to it and reading along at your own pace.
Or really any type of listening at all. Again, thanks for checking us out. We really hope you enjoy the podcast, and more importantly, we hope that you discover great new comics to read and cherish. Thanks again for listening.
Peace.